Branford Planning and Zoning Commission to order at 6:34 p.m. In attendance is our new member, Chris Heon, and our newest member, her first meeting is tonight, Mary Caruso. She's an alternate member, and regular or alternate members Paul Marino, and I'm acting Chair Galdenzi. So the first order of business, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I should clarify, actually, Paul would be a seated member, right, if Ron's not here, right? A regular member?
Well, you got to sort of seat everybody.
There he is.
Yeah. Oh, here he is.
So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So everybody will be seated.
Seated, okay. Yeah. All right. I'd also like to introduce our regular members, Ron Sienna, will be seated for tonight.
Fashionably late.
No, sorry, we weren't exactly sure, so I just figured we'd kick it off. We just started. We'll let you take your jacket off. All right, under 4, public hearing and possible action. We don't have any public hearings. But under 5.
You have minutes, though.
Oh, yes, sorry. Thank you. All right, so we have the January, let's try to do the January 2nd first. This was in your packet last time if you had them. And we had, No, it's Ron and I. Yep, right? Yeah.
Right. So you can do the
Okay.
February 20th ones.
January 16th. 16th either? No. No, because we don't have Barry. Okay. I didn't get the, I only have prior package, right? We didn't get any.
Oh, they were emailed.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we just table them?
I'll have to table that because I did not get a chance to look at them. I know if I know. So just make a note. So our prior meeting, we have the paper, if you still have it. Otherwise, check your email for last meeting's minutes, so we can hopefully approve those. Okay, so sorry, yeah, now going to 4, public hearing, possible action, nothing there. And then 5, under old business, we have application 2024-27, 49 Computer Road, R40 zone, site plan request under section 23, Schedule A, line B1, to construct a 30 by 80, 5-bay storage garage building to store athletic equipment and field maintenance equipment. Owner, Town of North Branford. Applicant, North Branford Public Schools. John Fleur, agent. It was continued from the February 20th meeting. So if you recall, last time, I'll just kind of quickly summarize. Dave, catch me if I've misspoke. There was some questions about texture 111 and colors, and I think John described that it fits with the existing composite of the buildings and also the color scheme of the existing buildings and surroundings buildings of the school. So I think we were satisfied. We were just looking for a site plan with the electrical, right?
Correct.
Is that correct, everyone that was here? I think that's a good overview.
Guys asked for a plan so you can see where the lighting was going on the
Yeah.
building. And big one here, and I have some small ones. I can share. Looks like we got the small ones, but it's there if you want to have it. You can see that the lights are directly over all the overhead doors, and they're also on the gable ends. There'll be plenty of light for the students. That's always our concern as well. And you'll try to question on what type of lighting. Let's pass this around. I'll go with the LED. We're going with LED lighting. These LED lights are, you can actually change the brightness and color of them, and then the setting is built right into the fixture. And you don't have to change the fixtures. You just you can set them right in the lights itself. So a couple different brands there, RAB and Laconia Lighting. Do great lights. They're the same lights that are on the Public Works building. I park my truck down there. They show plenty of light, that's for sure. And then, lastly, you guys wanted to see where the electrical lines were going.
Yep, that was good, thank you.
Building, so we have the existing right there. So, like I said to you before, the switchgear is on the existing, what we call the trainer's building. Used to be the old concession stand years ago. That, and, so we have that. It comes from that building, sorry about that, to the new building, underground. It'll be in conduit. I'm sorry, Mary.
That's all right.
It'll be in conduit. And it'll go from that switchgear site right to the new building. It's all been looked at by the electricians. There's plenty of power in the switchgears. Powers that whole site. And like I said, Public Works will be doing the site work. They'll dig the trench. Electricians will lay the conduit and the feed line from one side to the other.
Couple of questions,
Sure.
and this may be stupid. They are feeding 220 out there, right?
We are feeding enough power in case we need anything that runs 220. Yes, we are.
So we,
Yes, we are. Not that we're predicting that we need anything out there, 220, but when you're running power, you always run sufficient power in case you want to do anything to the building in the future.
I apologize, I wasn't here for the last meeting. Is there heat in the new building?
There are 100 gas unit heaters. They operate on 110. They're LP. They're the unit heaters that we took out of the old greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
They're still in great shape. They're still operable. They're in the storage trailers right now. We're going to rehang them in there. They're thermostatically controlled, LP fire.
I heard you say, it's, of course, it's gonna be in conduit.
Has to be.
Knowing the grounds,
No, I don't lay it in direct burial anymore. Everything goes in conduit now.
yeah, they,
Like I said, all the subcontractors all have to pull permits. All has to be building department. All has to be inspected.
right, I'm just thinking about the swamp.
Well, we're wetlands requested, we moved the building where they requested it. Wetlands said, get it that distance away from the wetlands. That's where Nafis and Young drew it. Wetlands approved it and said that was a great location. They're away, far enough away from the wetlands. I don't know if you've been back there lately, but Public Works has done a lot of drainage work back there to help that area out. They put a new culvert in and cleaned that area out really well. We never had any water issues with the trailers back there. We had rodent issues and we had, we had animals living under them and, not very good environment inside the trailers, what was stored in there, but we never had any water from that area come up and engulf the trailers. So we're even coming more forward from the wetlands than the trailers.
Anyone have any other comments? You can have more comments, I just didn't know if anyone else had comments. Paul, you have anything?
No, everything
Yeah.
looked like it was in order.
Yep.
And like I said, we're coming up with a foundation. It's not gonna be ground level.
How high was it?
It's gonna be, our blueprint says 1 foot minimum. We're thinking 18 inches at least concrete above the ground.
No, I was referring more to the conduit.
Oh, conduit? We have conduit buried all over that area. Conduit buried all over that area. Remember, conduit has to be sealed.
Yeah.
Used plastic has to be glued. It has to be watertight.
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, any further questions? All right,
John, did you have cutoff pictures?
What's that?
You had pictures of the actual lights?
there's,
The lighting
this
pictures, yes,
is the
I
same
did.
motion.
I
Whoever
can
wants
give
to
you
read
one,
it.
Dave. I got some notes.
Or just grab one from,
Yeah, I gave them to them.
Let me read.
Do you know the, who's gonna help construct this? Did you get that from the last meeting? Yeah, no, I didn't know if you heard. John, you wanna just give him a summary of, because I think it's a
I
great
feel like
project
I
and it's
know
probably
enough
a
about
an
this
issue.
project.
I was just saying, I've heard of, yeah, you know, okay, yeah,
Understand.
okay, so you know, never mind. I was just making sure he knew the concept of the kids helping out and everything, is getting them introducing the trades, yeah.
The kids are meeting next week or the week after with the engineering firm that actually did the high school.
Yeah,
Gonna be
good.
sitting with the kids.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah. Good job. Which parts do they have to
Yeah,
read?
just the top.
What's that? Which do they have to read?
You have to read it all, but you
Just
just
this?
go conditions 2, 4, 7, 8. And there's any special conditions, Dave? I don't think so. No.
So you don't have to read all the conditions, just say standard conditions, 2, 4, 6, whatever it says, 2, 4, 6, blah, blah, blah.
So I have to read this as a newbie?
You're making Mary read that? Wow, that's
Is that the?
kind of cruel, but,
Okay.
Well, I'll make the motion first to approve.
we gotta read the motion first, yeah.
Am
Yeah,
I
go ahead, sorry.
making the motion?
Yeah, read, you have to read that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
into the microphone
Just
so
when you
they can
get,
hear
when
it.
you get to the standard condition, you don't have to read this, just say standard condition 2, you know, the numbers,
Okay.
just read standard condition 2,
I move
4.
to approve planning and zoning application number 2024-27. Site plan request under section 23, schedule A, line B1 for construction of a 30 by 80 foot 5 bay store garage building to store athletic equipment and field maintenance equipment at 49 Caputo Road, Assessor Map 23, Lot 25, Zone R40, owner, Town of North Branford, applicant, North Branford Public Schools, John Florio, agent, as contained in submitted application documents and shown on plans entitled Survey Index Plan prepared for North Branford High School, Caputo Road and Foxen Road, Connecticut Route 80, North Branford, Connecticut, prepared by Alfred Benesch and Company, dated February 2021, and sheet A-1, proposed building plans for North Branford High School, athletic storage building, dated September 6, 2024, with the following standard conditions: 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, and special conditions.
No special conditions,
Okay.
yeah. Have a second? Well done, Mary.
And with the addition of the lighting plans that were submitted to us this evening.
Yep. Okay, with the additional amendments, okay? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, John, appreciate
Thank
it.
you all.
Appreciate it.
John.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. All right, next on the agenda, 5B, application 2025-2, 28 Branford Road. It's an I2 zone. Site plan request under section 23, schedule A, line C-1.2, to allow a closed-door pharmacy within the building to serve in-house patients only. Owner, Brigham Group Realty Incorporated. Applicant, Genoa Healthcare. Gorton Poe. This was continued from the February 2025 meeting.
We're sorry that Courtney's not able to be here today.
Okay?
Hi, good evening. My name is Julia Burkhart. I'm a licensed pharmacist. I'm the Director of Operations for Genoa, so I oversee our Connecticut pharmacy locations across the state.
I'm Aaron Reed, Implementation Specialist and Project Manager for Genoa Healthcare. I'm in charge of design and getting it through to building it.
Okay.
So just wanted to, see what questions or, follow-up you guys had for us.
Okay. So, the summary had a lot of questions on the operations, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any specific questions tonight.
So the distribution of any of the substances or whatever prescriptions are all in-house. So could you just clarify what you're doing over there?
Yeah, so we are a pharmacy that services the patients that come to BH Care. So patients that are already there for an appointment, after their appointment, they would come to the pharmacy to pick up their medications. Helps tremendously with adherence, as you can imagine, taking a step away from, the patients having to go to, another pharmacy in the community. The providers know that the patient is picking up their medication there before they leave for the day. So it just helps tremendously with patients, especially in the mental health arena, which is what BH Care services.
Yeah, there was a little confusion. I had a little confusion because I read the statement of use and it was as you described, but then the gentleman who presented just was making like these almost like a side comment saying that, well, we could offer it to the general public. And I said, well, can you clarify that? Because the statement of use, it seemed like it was just, as you described, you get care at the health facility. On your way out, your prescriptions are ready. And as you walk out, you get them.
So it's not, where the license itself is not, right, like an outpatient hospital one where you have to be seen there. So for example, if we have a mom who's picking up for her son who's getting serviced by BH Care, that mom is also able to pick up her prescription there.
Right.
So I think that's probably what he was alluding to. I'm not sure, I can't speak for him, but in terms of our license, we are not restricted by only filling for doctors that are in that clinic. That's not a restriction on our license. We do not advertise, we don't have signage, we don't do mailers, we don't do any sort of advertising in any way to the general public. But if it's a family member who's coming there and in the building anyways, we would still service them.
So what you're saying is you could take in outside public?
We can fill from any provider, yes.
You could take from outside public? Yes.
I'm not, I mean, are you just saying like that someone would walk in and find us?
So a doctor from somewhere out of BH Healthcare could have a prescription filled there and someone could walk in and pick it up?
Yeah, absolutely.
So so it'd be basically a pharmacy?
Closed door pharmacy is different licensure than, because again, there's no signage, it's a very different license than a community pharmacy that's out in the community that has the big lit up signs, they're in the paper, they're sending mailers, they're attracting business. That is not what
So the only difference is the advertisement part of it?
Yes.
Can I ask you, I don't know if did we get any staff comments or police, fire, nothing?
No,
Did they see the application?
yeah,
They did, so they just didn't have any comments? Did the town engineer, nothing, because it's all internal stuff anyway, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I forgot to ask that last time. Yeah.
So are you there or you're not part of BH at all? You're
BH Care is a totally separate entity.
so we don't have anybody here?
so there's a different prescription license for a closed door versus a open door.
That is correct.
And as Paul said, the only real difference is advertising. Or is there a different price level? Is there, what other?
I mean, on the back end, there's different things that we're able to do because we're considered long-term care.
Just make sure
Pharmacy,
conversations have to be,
but-
because we're on record.
But that's all on the back end in terms of.
Just have the
How many different
conversation in public
pharmacy
record. We have to have
licenses
it in
are there?
public. Can't be whispering.
In Connecticut?
Two. I'm honestly, I'm not sure if there's more than that.
Right.
Well, there are. There's like nuclear pharmacies. I'm not sure, so I don't want to comment specifically. But right, there's a nuclear pharmacy. There's community pharmacy. There's closed door long-term care pharmacies. So there's inpatient pharmacy. So I mean, there's at least 4 that I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm not in those branches of pharmacies. I've never practiced in them, so I'm not positive.
But the closed door would be the
Long-term.
correct terminology
That is
for
correct.
this?
Yes.
Okay.
Bill, can I ask a question? And I
course you can.
apologize because I'm the newest person, I wasn't here. But I was just wondering, when this came forward as a new building, was the public aware that this would potentially happen? Or might this be something totally new?
No, they won't.
This is something totally new. That's why we're hearing it.
So when it came through as the subject parcel to be used as professional office use. professional office use, right? And then as you go into it a little bit, it says 12,000 square foot professional office medical use. But it's not professional office medical use, now it's BH Healthcare. So I know what your question is, and everybody has the same question. How did it come from professional medical office use to a healthcare place?
Well, I
It's a
guess
legitimate
my
question as
concern
well.
is this actually a public hearing where the public?
No, this is not a public.
So
This is a
does,
site plan, so it's different, yeah. This is a standard site plan because it's, right, it's a,
It's an accessory
Yeah,
use
accessory
to a
use.
primary use. And it's by site plan approval, just by you as a commission voting on it.
it's a,
But there is, we wouldn't allow a retail pharmacy to be in the I2 zone. But since it's accessory to a permitted use, which is medical offices, clinics, professional offices, that's what we're talking about.
so there wouldn't have to be any public input on this at any point along the way?
Correct.
Okay.
We as a commission can always have a public hearing
Yeah,
if
we
we
can
choose to have a
always-
public hearing.
yeah.
But there's nothing required for this application.
Yeah, so the application was Connecticut Center for Health and Wellness. That was the original. And then it changed to now, I guess, the people that are there are BH Healthcare, which is, maybe they're renting from these people, I don't know.
Gotcha.
And then now these people want to come in under another flag, we'll say,
Right,
and do an in-house
Gotcha.
pharmacy.
thanks.
Do you guys do any distribution of drugs, or is it just prescription?
No, we're not a distributor.
So there's no distribution of anything?
We are not a distributor. That's a totally separate entity.
Is there a separate license you need to be a distribution center? Or
Absolutely.
can you guys distribute under your license?
No, we're not a distributor. That's a totally separate license.
Just a question. Okay.
So you'll basically fill prescriptions, and it can be from any doctor, not necessarily a doctor within that office?
That's
So-
correct.
So that would not be a closed door. To me, that's not closed door then, if you're taking them from anywhere.
The term closed door means that we, again, do not advertise, we do not, all of the things I mentioned before,
Yeah.
the signage, nothing in the papers, we don't do mailers to patients, there's nothing out there other than
So if
you
the-
walk into that building and there will be, a sign to go to the pharmacy.
So even though you don't advertise, let's say there's a doctor in Orange that hears about you on the, whatever, from a patient or somebody on the street, and says, oh, maybe we could start going there, and he could actually call up and get a prescription for somebody who lives in this area?
Yes.
And if he practices in Orange? Okay.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
right.
closed door, I just want to clarify, a lot of people are out on TV land and stuff, so a lot of people think when they hear closed door, that it's safe. Okay, it's just the people that are here. But in reality, it's just a name, a word, closed door, but it doesn't mean it's closed door. It doesn't mean it's restricted to, maybe that's a better way. It's not restricted to BH Healthcare. It's restricted to whoever goes there, even though you don't call people or advertise, and still people could come.
Sure.
In layman's terms, right, without getting technical, or pulling different types of permits that you might need. So it's not closed door, it's open door to the public, you guys just don't advertise.
Again, it's still
Right.
closed door.
And you need a prescription, you'd need a
Oh, of course.
prescription.
Yeah, the answer.
Yes.
And you're not selling anything,
is the specific license called closed door?
Long-term care.
Long-term care, but it's, the lay term is
Yes.
closed door, but
That's
it's
correct.
long-term care pharmacy.
That's correct.
you guys fulfill prescription for Suboxone?
We do, absolutely. It's very important for mental health and to keep you full.
All right. Do you guys have anything for us?
No?
Okay.
You wanna close it?
No, I got a couple
Yeah,
questions.
okay. Okay.
And again, this might be stupid.
Just
and-
speak into your microphone so everybody can hear.
Okay, and I'm sure this question might be stupid, but other people might be thinking this way also. The building was constructed to be a general doctor's offices.
That's what it should be,
Professional medical offices.
correct.
Now, a pharmacy, I'm thinking of narcotics and stuff like that. How do you secure, and maybe I'm stepping outside my responsibility in that I'm just thinking, you're right off the highway, you can get hit very easily, as could Stop and Shop down the road. So I don't, I'm just thinking out loud that, are there any special construction things that you have to do to the building?
I mean, we have to meet all of the requirements of the Commission of Pharmacy of Connecticut. So all of those requirements, including alarm systems, inspections by them, the safes, have to be over a certain weight. They have to be secured to the ground. There's motion sensors. We have a separate alarm system than any, clinic. There's, all of the locks. I mean, to become a pharmacy, you have to be inspected by the Commission of Pharmacy of Connecticut. So that's all part of, under their jurisdiction, that they would, license us. So all of those, that's up to them to make sure that we meet the requirements that are required of them.
Again, for the record, we didn't get any feedback from the police or the fire department. Should the building burn down, how do they handle narcotics that, the safe opened or whatever? So there's no feedback from either one of those two departments? Or?
No, there hasn't been any feedback. They have been out to the site. They have looked at the possible development and what would be there. And I think, as the applicant said, the state regulates pharmacies pretty heavily, and it's going to be in their best interest to secure their drugs and secure their premises. And
They've been out to the
yes,
shelled space that will become this pharmacy. Yeah, okay, just to clarify, it wasn't the original building. Okay, good.
You're not asking about police posts. How long has that been? Well, you guys, again, they're not BH Health, so they're not even there. You guys are looking to come in. So the cop's been there. They've been there about 10 times so far since they've been there. And there's not even a pharmacy there yet. And for their old location, they were at their old location 120 times in a 2-year period. So there is a lot of police activity for whatever's going on there. More concern is now you're going to bring in narcotics, and that might lure in something above and beyond healthcare. You're bringing in an element of a possibility of other stuff. 110, 20 times.
Not knowing what the police did, but in past times, I mean, we look to our staff experts and get their guidance. I don't know if they've been there and they don't have an issue.
There's no studies or anything done. There's no,
But they're the experts of the town.
Sure.
The chief of police is the expert, and the police department for those kinds of concerns. It's like when the town engineer gives his expert opinion about drainage and stuff. I'm not going to challenge that. He's a PE in the state of Connecticut, so we look to those experts. So I don't know if we want to, if we wanted to further ask the police department. I don't know what was discussed, but it sounds like they were there. I mean,
well, I know that the fire marshal and the building official have been to the site.
yeah, okay. I mean, so where I'm going is if we feel we want to, could we ask them for
Sure.
an opinion? I mean, that.
Sure, we can ask
We
again.
have concerns. I was saying, rather than we litigate it, I think the expert of the town should be informed, so.
Did they come to you with anything special that they wanted? Did they have any discussion with you about the place? Fire marshal?
No, they had no concerns.
But your comments are more police, so if we want,
Yeah,
we can ask.
I'm more
we can
concerned.
ask
I don't
the-
care about the building burning to the ground.
Yeah, we could
because
ask
it
the
generates no
police.
money for the town, so maybe it doesn't.
We could ask the police to, if they haven't reviewed, or maybe re-reviewed, and maybe give us a statement, right?
Sure.
Can we, that's reasonable,
We
right?
could stuff that under the traffic study. I think we should do a requested traffic study as well. I got a couple things.
You've only filled 3/4 of that building so far. 25% is still empty.
Right.
So I don't know what a traffic report's going to show you.
Just what they have now and just what's going on over there. So a lot of people don't know. It's kind of like a blind side to this place. It's starting to get. a lot of recognition.
So what's your concern about traffic?
Just to check this traffic study now, so how many, well, you know, BH isn't here, so we don't even know.
It's not 900 to 1,000. I asked her last time.
1,000 people a week?
And again, we are not BH.
Right, that's why I look to you guys, but I don't want, you know.
Their
you don't
current
want the answer.
client pool is 900 to 1,000 people. Doesn't mean they're all there, but they
Yeah,
serve that many. So.
They only have 1,000 people that they deal with?
I mean, I'm speaking for them, but that's what they said.
That's what I
last
think
time.
he said, right?
Yeah, she did. She said
Somewhere around there.
it was the woman from BH.
So if they only have 1,000 people, which isn't a lot of people, what's the, why would you want to put a pharmacy there with so little clientele? What do you guys expect to get out of it? Do you have any other buildings that are this size that have a healthcare in it that you guys are part of? And how many people?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
And then,
Exactly what we do.
all right, and then how many clients roughly do you have a month that you would see in a building roughly this size?
I mean, patient count, I don't know that as much. I mean, most of our pharmacies might fill 75 prescriptions a day.
Is that
You know
the
what I mean?
average?
Breaking that out, and that's.
That's an
7.
average?
Yeah, again, I'm just, right, like, so
Yeah.
just guessing here. So, you know, if we fill like 75 prescriptions a day, most of our patients are on 7 prescriptions, that's 10 patients.
Not a lot of people though.
But I think you're talking about apples and oranges, because it doesn't have to be just their patients. It could be other people having their prescriptions filled there and going.
Right.
So that would be outside that patient base.
Right, that's why saying it's
Correct.
closed doors.
Right, like I said,
Yeah.
like, again, if a mother was there and she wanted to fill her own prescriptions, was picking up for her son who had, you know, mental health issues. she
Or
would
if
also
someone
pick up
else
hers.
was getting their prescription elsewhere, they could then have their physician fill the prescription here and come
Those
here.
patients we usually mail. If someone's not in the building already, they're not gonna wanna come to pick it up. We mail to all of our patients. We use USPS.
Question?
I just want to, I think he was a pharmacist that was here last time.
Yes, he is.
He had mentioned that it's a certain license to distribute methadone.
We don't do methadone.
Okay, and
No
that is
methadone.
a separate license you have to acquire.
That is correct.
With no intention of getting
None of
it.
our Genoas, we have about 750 locations, not a single one does methadone.
But Suboxone is the sister of methadone.
That is not, I would not consider that.
What was your
I don't
comment?
know.
I didn't catch
But-
your-
Suboxone
Oh,
is,
Suboxone.
you know, if you look it up
No, I don't
online,
know what it is.
it's the sister, in layman's terms, it's the
Oh.
sister drug to methadone. So if you don't give out methadone, methadone's a little bit more addictive, right?
Methadone is a narcotic, Suboxone is a controlled substance. Suboxone is a mixed entity that if you try to do anything with it to alter the drug, it becomes inactive. It's safe and approved by the FDA and all other bodies, and it is a very important drug to help people who are in addiction.
So it's the sister of methadone.
So-
And it's prescribed instead of distributed. Is that the
It's
difference?
really hard to define it in relation to family members.
I don't know what that meant. So basically, methadone is methadone, Suboxone is Suboxone. They are in this, they do the same thing, just one is distributed and one is prescribed. That's basically why they came up with
Yeah, that's-
Suboxone, so it's easier to get out there.
Are you asking if they are both in relation to addiction services?
They are.
Is that what you're asking?
No, I don't need to ask, I know that.
Okay.
I did a little homework on the two of them, and that's
They're
what I
in
was
different
saying.
drug classes, they're
Right.
totally different. The requirements that a doctor has to be able to prescribe the two is again very different. You can, they're just very different.
Thank you, so many questions.
We're not the only, there's
Yeah.
a lot of TV land that, you know, people that are not here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there is
We're
a
here to
lot of
answer the
people, so
questions.
I'd like,
Yeah.
the more I ask you, the more they'll know. That's how they go.
Absolutely.
Right?
So, yeah, you guys can continue a question. I'm just asking now, going back to like the zone. So it's I2 zone, the medical use is allowed. I mean, it's allowed because it's there. This is so just everyone, it's an accessory use to this, which
Correct.
is allowed by zone because it's an accessory to the medical.
Correct.
So in an I2 zone, if it was a standalone, it would not be, but because it's an accessory, that's what our regulations say. Our
Correct.
regulations say this would be allowed, okay.
So I got something from Medical News today. I don't know, I just want to put it on the books or on the record.
Make sure you speak into the microphone.
Both methadone and Suboxone can treat opioid disorder. While both drugs are blind to opioid recipients, Suboxone contains an extra medication that could help decrease misuse. So in layman's terms, methadone is stronger, Suboxone is lighter. Methadone you have to distribute, special licenses. Suboxone you can pharmacally distribute.
Suboxone, again, as it said in there, as you just read, is a mixed entity, so it has something to deter people. If they tried to misuse it, it would become inactive, and therefore there's no risk of them getting high.
Right.
Of anything added in.
So it's the same, it's close,
It's absolutely not the same.
yeah.
Speaking as, as you mentioned before, of the people who are experts, I'm a licensed pharmacist in the field, and they're different.
I believe it. I'm just reading what Medical News said.
But, I mean, not to contradict anyone, but I mean, you read what she just said, because what
Yeah.
you said was what she said.
I agree.
Yeah, she just
I
said
agree.
it a little more technical than that.
But methadone and Suboxone are basically in the same family. It's not like it's Tylenol and
But you
Suboxone.
can't misuse it because it's designed to make it
You're not
inactive.
supposed to misuse it. You're
I
not
know, but
supposed to
you
use methadone.
cannot, you physically cannot do it.
That's correct.
Scientifically, physically cannot.
That's correct.
Because it will enact itself.
And that's,
So it is not the same. I mean, so,
don't methadone and Suboxone treat the same type of people? Getting off an addiction?
There can be multiple medications that can treat the same thing. You can take a medication for diabetes. One can be insulin that you inject, and one can be an oral metformin. That doesn't mean that they're the same.
All right, cool.
and I'm just trying to make sure, as you're talking TV Land, we need to make sure.
Make it clear,
They have
yes.
the facts.
Right.
We need to have the facts. Then we'll worry about the public, but we need to have the facts as well. Well, what do we have for timeframes? Not that I want to keep belaboring this thing, but I would kind of, because to Paul's point, if you have concerns about police activity and things, I think I would like to hear from the police department. They are our experts of our town, so. But, I mean, we can continue conversations here, but. I think last meeting you said 60 days.
Yeah.
I remember that, so
So we heard it on
February 20th.
February 20th. Yeah, we got lots of time. We got 60 days.
Does that, I mean, I don't want to steer the commission, but it seems.
I think that's a great idea. And I just also want to make sure that everything's transparent for the public. I'm the newbie, but,
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well-
you want to be friendly to the businesses because we really cherish the businesses. But I also I want people to be able to know what's going on and
Yes,
not feel like
100%.
something was done.
Yep.
To go along with that, I'm wondering if we should have a public hearing because I recall putting in the gas tanks for Sullivan where they could legally do it, but the town was all up in arms after we passed that they could do it. So I think
I think we had a public hearing, but no one came.
the 4 people.
But yes, you're right.
I'd like to see a public hearing on this, so to get the, feedback from the town.
Do you guys know? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you guys know where they're getting their medications now? Those patients that are being seen?
Just out in the community.
So
at
it could
whatever.
be Big Y, it could be Stop and Shop.
Anywhere out in the community already.
Okay.
Yep, there are people who are already living in your community, already going to pharmacies, being seen.
And like most likely the medications that they're on, they've probably been taking for a while. It's not like a new thing for them, safe to assume.
Yeah, we actually do a lot with compliance packaging with our patients. So we use what's called DISPIL. So these patients have their medications in certain slots, morning, afternoon, evening, night. Helps with compliance, helps the doctors. We limit how much they get if the doctor recommends that based on where they are in their therapy. We have a much higher touch interaction and adherence rate than traditional pharmacy.
Another question. Do you get referrals from the court system, directly or indirectly?
Sycamore, where BH Healthcare used to be, I don't know, are they still there? I think they closed, right? Are they still there around?
Again, we're not BH Healthcare, I don't
You
know.
know, so the one that was around the corner that they had their office there, you guys didn't go, any reason why? Did you guys try to get in there and got denied from that town, or?
No, we are in BH Healthcare in Ansonia. That
No,
was
no,
our
no, I'm
first
talking
one.
about around the corner, there was one in,
Again, I'm not familiar with that, but I know that we're in the other BH Healthcare.
you're in other BH Healthcare facilities.
That's correct.
But not the one that was right around the corner.
I don't know anything about that one, sir.
We were not in that one. We don't know anything about it.
Does anybody know if they
I
applied?
don't believe there was a pharmacy.
Does anybody know if there was an application put in and denied from that location?
I'm not sure how relevant that is, but no, I
Just
don't
to see if
know.
there was and they got denied there, just to see why.
They might not have had a pharmacy.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah. So, just because I don't know, I've been in many public hearings, we usually start out, so can we request one
Sure.
midway? We can, right?
And also.
Do we want to have discussion around that, or? Yeah, you were about to say something, Paul, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. You want a public? She
Well,
said, yeah.
I think even this meeting, at least people will know. I don't know what's around, if that's a huge task
No.
to do a public hearing at this point, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to be transparent with the public.
My question is, the BH Healthcare doesn't pay the town any taxes. Are you guys gonna pay town tax on the part that you guys are in? How big is the pharmacy?
900 square feet.
900?
I don't know the exact floor plan, but like, yeah, usually most of our
Do you have
pharmacies
a
are
floor
about
plan?
900.
If you want the floor plan.
Yes,
Not yet.
the answer is yes, they will be taxed.
Yeah.
So they'll be paying taxes?
Correct.
Okay.
I think at the very least, getting an opinion from the
Yeah,
chief.
I think so,
is
too.
He's,
Well, I can ask them for a letter and report back to you at the next meeting. If that's your concern, he can
I got
just,
a concern with just the traffic. So can we throw in a traffic study or see what he feels about the traffic?
Yeah, I think he should evaluate the whole situation.
well, he
right?
will. He'll
Yeah.
evaluate the whole
the
situation.
traffic.
I think asking for a complete traffic study at this point is expensive and extensive for, a change of use for 900 square feet in a building.
That's,
I'm not sure, I would like to see some sort of empirical evidence of the need of it. Have we seen accidents? Have we seen traffic slowing down? Do we have a need for it other than just,
I think the police
He
department.
would be able to answer all
Yeah,
that.
I think the police department is something we need.
that's
I'm
fine.
glad Paul brought it up, because I think that is something we miss. We're missing. It addresses traffic and the other concerns you raised.
What are the hours that you guys are,
Most of our pharmacies are 8 to 5:30, 8 to 4:30 or 8:30 to 5. We mimic whatever the clinic's hours are, so we're never open without the clinic.
I think that one's up
Monday
until
through
9?
Friday, so no weekends, no nights.
No weekends? Okay. I think that clinic is open till 9 for that PH Healthcare, what's the?
I have no idea.
Even if they're open to not, we are 40 hours a week, we're
That's
either
it.
8 to 4:30 or 8:30 to 5, depending on what the need is of the business.
Oh, where else are you in BH Healthcare? You mentioned Ansonia?
That's correct,
That's it, just Ansonia?
that's correct.
Nothing else in Connecticut?
Just the one. The one in BH Healthcare, and yeah, you were asking about BH Healthcare, right?
Right,
it's
so
just the
BH
one.
Healthcare has a couple different offices, so the only other one that you're in, besides almost in this one, would be Ansonia.
That's correct.
And then what other, do you guys have other pharmacies around town? Around Connecticut?
Around the state, yes, we do.
And what are they called?
I can't rattle them all off, but.
So they have different names?
Yeah, because they're all within different clinics. That's what we specialize in, and within clinics, so that we work with the doctors directly to help them with patients with adherence.
So you guys are, just because I know what you guys are, so I just want to make it clear. So you guys are pharmacies that are merged in with healthcare buildings, we'll say.
That's correct.
So you're not a freestanding building like a Walgreens or a CVS or anything like that.
That's correct.
You're only merged in with doctor offices.
That's correct.
Do you go by your parent company name at each of these, or is it a different name?
Genoa.
It's Genoa, so
Genoa
it's BH Healthcare with Genoa.
No, that
Pharmacy.
we're totally separate
No, no, I'm
entities.
saying there's a sign BH Healthcare, and then your sign will
Above the
say
farm.
Genoa.
Yeah, just above the pharmacy.
Yeah, yes, I
It will
mean,
say
inside.
Genoa Healthcare.
Yeah, Genoa Healthcare.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing
It's, you
affiliated
don't use
with
different
it.
names at different places, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's Genoa.
Yeah, no, so it's Genoa
Genoa.
Healthcare, no matter which location you're at.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I was just clarifying, because if you wanted to look, I don't know if you can find information. If you want to find information, it'd be under Genoa.
Genoa Healthcare.
Genoa Healthcare,
That's
for
correct.
different locations.
So I know you guys asked for the police study. Is there anything else that you would like us to provide to you for next meeting so that we can make sure that we're prepared with that?
I would say we definitely need someone from PH Healthcare to be here for the questions that we have. If it's going to be a public hearing, you should have someone from the healthcare
Well,
be here as well.
we'll talk
Since you're
about the
gonna
public
merge.
hearing.
We're not merging.
Well, since you're going to be a part of, right? You'll be a part of PH Healthcare?
Separate.
They're a tenant.
Tenant of. All right, so maybe you should bring your landlord.
If that's what you guys would like, then
Yeah.
we will request for them to come, if that's what the group would like.
In your experience, how many outside people come in and use the closed-door pharmacies?
That physically come and pick up their prescriptions,
Yeah, who are not in the building.
less than 10%.
All right, so we want the police to weigh in on this. So we can ask them hopefully for next time they
Right.
have something.
Sure.
Could I get also, is there any schools, daycares anywhere near this place? Schools or daycares? Are there any schools or daycares near here? Do we know?
We have no requirements about separating
Just a question,
distances.
is there any schools or daycares?
I said no.
Okay.
We have no separating distances for pharmacies. We treat pharmacies as a retail store.
Do we want anything else from the folks at Genoa?
Thank you very much.
All right, so Paul has asked, what do we think about a public hearing?
I'm down for a public hearing. I don't see anybody showing.
Yeah, personally, I think it's something we should have out there with public in favor or not, but
Yeah, when they hear, it's an approved use in an I2 zone, so we can listen to the public, but in the end, it's looking at the regulations, it's allowed in an I2 zone, and if they meet the both standards of an I2 zone accessory use, it's not like we can go on personal preferences, but I'm okay
Yeah,
with
yeah,
going
no.
any way you want.
yeah, I have to go back to the gas tanks in the
Yeah.
industrial zone that were perfectly right.
Yeah, there was a public hearing.
There's a public hearing and
There was a public hearing.
right, and in fact, well, that's a different subject.
Yeah, that's totally separate, because we changed the use. This is an approved use in an I2 zone as accessory dwelling. I'm okay, I'm not trying to discourage anything, I'm just trying to make it clear that,
Okay, public hearing.
okay, well, let's,
It's gonna require, it's not gonna make the next meeting,
yeah, no, because we
Right.
have to publicize it.
because we're gonna have to notify the neighbors, we're gonna have to advertise it, we're gonna have to post it, we're gonna have to do all that stuff. So you need at least 30 days.
And what does that do? Do we need to get ask for an extension, or?
No,
that changes?
we'll still be within the
Still?
time limit. We'll just be, cramping the applicant a little bit. They're gonna have to pay
Yep.
another fee for a public hearing.
Yeah, let's just get some other commissioners and your gut feeling, just your opinions.
Well, it just seems like a lot if it's not going to make a difference. I mean, if Chief came to you and said there were already a lot of calls, will that make a difference?
No. I guess it would just be giving the public a chance to speak their voice,
Yeah.
right? But if doesn't matter what they say, right? It's already, sounds like it's already a done deal.
I mean, I'm speaking, that's accurate, right? It's an accessory use.
Correct.
In an,
You can't put special conditions
Yeah,
on it
you
because it's
can't.
not a special permit. If they meet the requirements, you have to pass it.
it's a site plan.
If there's safety, health, and welfare issues that are
So-
over and above,
So that's why the police chief may.
So that could
enlighten us to
potentially
something.
be a safety issue.
Yeah, and then we, just based on that, could act and add additional things based on the expert opinion of our police.
Correct.
department.
But there's probably, it's so fresh, there's probably nothing substantial for him to say, X, Y, and Z happened over here, so basically.
well, I think they have experiences with other pharmacies around town. We don't
We don't
have
really
many
have-
left.
We don't have anything, we're farm town. So basically, the application came through, and you can't really deny it for any reason, because it fits into the scope. The only thing we could do is put some restrictions on it.
Right.
Well, but he just said safety. So it seems to me like, it sounds like it'd be a lot at this point to do a public hearing. So maybe relying on the chief about the safety of it?
We have a lot of public hearings. When you say a lot,
Well, it sounds
Well,
like
we have
there's a
public
time,
hearings every
there's
other
a
month.
time constraint.
I mean, certain applications require a public hearing, Ron. This is a site plan. It doesn't require one. It doesn't mean we can't have one.
What would it change?
Subdivisions, right? Things like that, right? Require.
Re-subdivisions require a public
Re-subdivision,
hearing.
Certain things require it. That's why
But
we have.
regular straight subdivisions, the first one doesn't require it. And I did have some people in last week
Yeah,
saying,
So-
well, why didn't you have a public hearing?
yeah.
We don't need to.
Yes, so if you have a public hearing and everybody comes in kicking and screaming, it doesn't matter anyway, because there's really nothing to deny this particular application the way it is, just because the
Correct.
public said, I don't like
It gives you the ability to receive more information from the public.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not quite sure how much more information you're going to get.
You don't really need it, I mean, what are you gonna get?
Right.
What's it gonna, at the end of the day, in layman's terms, if everybody comes in and lives around there and says, no, I don't want it, there's nothing they can do because it's an approved.
Right, but I
I
guess,
think you were right on. I'm very glad you brought it up. Like the police chief, I think that's a missing piece for me because it
And, you
will
know,
be traffic.
right,
Because you're serving, 10% is not the client. So we already have this 900 to 1,000 pool of active clients BH is seeing. So if we have a traffic concern, they're just getting their medications on the way out, except for maybe 10% addition. So that's not gonna, so if there's problems now, the police department's gonna know.
right. I just feel like we're doing the public a little bit more due diligence by checking with the chief.
No, I agree.
More time is open for people to find out and maybe, weigh in. So I'm not necessarily saying it has to be a public hearing. I think by not voting and getting additional information that we're at least doing due diligence for the public.
I agree. I think we need to get this information for our decision too, with the police. That's a gap for me, and I'm glad that's a good point you brought up.
I think it was a really good suggestion.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think it's
The
necessary.
table it until.
You don't even,
I don't think it's
not
necessary.
even the chief?
No.
Dave, what do you think of a date?
I think we're looking past, like you guys said, this is why they're here, this application. Nothing, did they have this type of input when Big Y put the pharmacy in? They have their own checks and balances. There's not an increase of traffic or foot traffic. They're already being seen there. And like you said, if they're not a patient there, they usually mail them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good service to have. They're going out somewhere else anyway to get that medication. So a safety issue, I mean, what if their patients go to Big Y? You know, it's there, they have the service there, it's convenient. Most, you know, majority of them probably have issues going places to get things, medication. I don't see an issue, personally.
So maybe we could do a stipulation, if it does go to a vote and it gets approved, we could do a stipulation that we have input from the police department and or fire department. With the fire department, you said, kind of passed everything already. They would have to go through whatever they have to go through with the fire department, so there's nothing that would come back that we would have anything to do with anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to belabor things, but I mean, I don't think it's a problem waiting two weeks to get something in from the police department, so we have it in front of us. And I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I mean, I'm just looking at like traffic, bring up traffic.
I think it's a good perspective.
I drive by there.
Minority in this. But
Yeah, I
that's why we're
haven't
here.
noticed any, it's not like it's a, actually, I drove in there after the comments about walking to see if I could see any tracks, and I actually think, you know, the position of the entrance and exit is a really good one. It's nowhere near the, you know, it's a good line of sight, and I have not noticed any traffic, but I mean, the police should tell me this, not me. So I think that's just a gap I'd like to just close. Just to get there, like, we have not seen anything, and, you know, it's been in operation for X amount of months with 900,000 clients. I mean, if there's no issues, this is not gonna make all of a sudden
Yeah,
traffic
no
concerns.
problem. I think use the
Yeah.
expert's opinion, and that makes sense. We're happy to come back in 2 weeks.
But, I mean, it's our decision as a commission.
So do you want to do the input from the police chief
Yeah.
and open for the public?
I
at the
was
same
just saying
time?
the police. I was just gonna go with the police.
I agree. I think that would be sufficient to get a report from the chief.
How about the next meeting, if there was someone from the public that wanted to speak or talk, could they?
It's not a public hearing. I mean, if we're gonna say that publicly and have a bunch of people, that's a public
Yeah.
hearing, and that's not what this is
Yeah,
about.
we really can't do that because,
Because the public hearing, again, wouldn't make a difference.
but I got.
No, and it has to be like a specific piece of data, you know, that we're.
It has to, notice has to go out.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I have the house next door and I wasn't notified.
Right.
Yeah, that's true, Ron, too.
You guys didn't have to notify any of the neighbors that you were coming in anyway, right?
No,
No, this is a site plan.
So there's really nothing that's gonna hold them back from getting the approval, just with the stipulation that you wanted input from the chief of police. Just
Correct.
Just to put an input from the police, which most likely is gonna be minimal,
I don't know, yeah.
right?
let's see the report and then we'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mary, doesn't, I mean, usually some applications we have, you know, we'll have fire,
Yeah.
police, and we didn't have anything. That's why I thought of this on the way here, and that's why I asked Dave. And he said that both the building official, as you heard, and the fire marshal were there, didn't have any issues, but we don't have the police, so the point you made was a good one. It would be another piece of data for us. Yep.
So you wanna do approval?
Well, I think today we just continue to next meeting, if that's what we're agreeing to, so we can get a report from the police department.
Right.
We'll just need a,
Okay, just-
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
talk
go
about
ahead.
it. So you don't think we need a public hearing and you two don't believe?
Well, the public hearing isn't gonna change the fact of what they wanna do, and there's nothing that, even though it sounds crazy, but there's nothing the public could say to stop it. What the application is. They could either love it or dislike it, either way, it's not gonna change what's in front of us to vote on, right?
Yeah, looking at,
Even if the chief of police comes in and says he hates it, there's nothing.
you know, looking at the gas tanks when we went to the mats with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we took it to court many times and we still lost. That they could do what they wanted to do in an I think that was I-3. And so that being the case, I'll pull my request for a public hearing.
and make a
We
motion.
had a public hearing to change the use. We did have a public hearing.
When you created the
When we created
regulation.
the regulation to have propane tanks, there was a public hearing.
Yeah, but they were in already.
No, they didn't, it wasn't an approved use. Anyway, we're not going to
Whatever.
start discussing
Yeah,
that. We gotta
That's
move on.
something else. Anyway, we
Yeah.
went to court and lost.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point, we just make a motion to table it till
Yeah.
next meeting,
Yeah.
pending.
Continue to the next meeting. So I just need a motion to continue are we all okay with that first of all?
Right, that's what you guys looking at?
You okay with that?
I'm ready now, but yeah, we can continue.
Yeah, okay.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to make a decision, but.
I would like to hear from the police what he has to say,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, what anybody says is not going to make a difference, so, you
Well,
know,
The
basically they're telling
the
us.
police may give us insight where we could maybe, based on that professional opinion, maybe there's something we learned from that, right? And could be relevant and we could put a special condition on. But it's not anything
So now-
substantial saying you can't, you
Right.
can only
But
serve
if we vote on,
50% of the patients.
tonight, you can't add anything.
No, that's why I think we should, for me, I'd like to just hear that. I
Hear what he says.
appreciate Chris's, but I think I would just like to hear what the police department.
Question though, if we put if it does move forward at the next meeting, right, there's nothing, anybody that's gonna come crazy. So if that moves forward and they get approved, how do we apply stipulations? We just put in stipulations that we require with the approval?
Such as, what?
Whatever a stipulation would be,
Well, you can't put stipulations, you can put conditions.
conditions.
But they have to be in conformance with the regulations.
You can't say you can only service the client from 12 to 1 PM, that's unreasonable. They have the right to do it in a normal operation. But
Right,
you
no, I
can
think
do-
the time is
Like
fine.
if the police chief
No,
says
fine.
there's bad traffic or something, maybe I don't know, we would have to.
I mean, you
maybe that's
see
not a good
our
example.
typical site plan conditions are erosion control, which is something that's in our regulations. You have to have erosion control, drainage, all those typical site plan applications. Typically, you don't have a whole lot of conditions on uses because they're an allowed use.
Right.
You could do hours of operation, you could do noise, you can do smell, you can do health and welfare things. But you can't just say, you can't have a methadone clinic.
Well, they wouldn't because they don't have the license for that.
We will not,
They're not-
no method.
Well, I'm just saying you can't do that as a
Well, there's
stipulation.
options,
It's not
yeah.
part of the application. It's not even
Yeah,
a
it's not part-
question.
yeah, it's
They
not part
just
of it.
want to be a pharmacy.
Yeah.
And with closed doors, you're not gonna have the neon lights flashing.
Zero signage, zero. You literally would drive by the building, it doesn't say pharmacy, it won't say Genoa, it says nothing at all. Literally not an ounce.
Well, we know word of mouth is one of the best advertisings anyway.
We're on camera right now,
So there's your free advertising.
so I'm sure it's gonna be on North Branford
Patch.
Patch.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage everyone to look at our website. You have no idea the populations that are out there. We're helping people with bipolar, schizophrenia, people who need to be medicated, who need to be on their medications, who when they're actively adherent to their medications are well and active members of your community. When they're not on their medications, they're getting readmitted to the hospitals, they're acting out, they are not doing well. We are making people better, and I would encourage everyone to look at the Genoa Healthcare website. That is the population that we serve.
I think everybody understands that, but again, where you are in a little farm town, we're a little farm town. We're not a city, we're not any kind of large Ansonia.
Mental health is everywhere.
It is.
No matter where you are.
Yeah, but we don't need, make a thoroughbred over here. So, want to go ahead and,
Yeah, well, so I need a motion to continue, if that's what we decided, right?
you're in?
I thought, yeah, you made the motion, didn't you?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just,
Should make it again, so
motion to continue. When, Dave, 2 weeks, next meeting?
Yeah.
Next meeting's good? So
We'll be here,
Motion,
absolutely.
new application 2025-2.
Second?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-1. Good, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your time.
All right, good discussion. Okay, looks like no new business. And then under 7, other business, town center form-based code, Schedule A discussion. Can we, full runs here.
Yeah,
But,
I'll start. First off.
well, hold on. Well, last time we postponed it because Bob wasn't here. But, well, you weren't here either. So I don't know if,
I think we're gonna postpone this till Bob's here, because he's got a lot of knowledge with
I
this.
mean, there's no urgency, right?
There's no
I
urgency.
think he was pretty passionate about this. We said it last time,
Yeah.
so.
Right.
That's why I'm a little.
If you wanna push it
You weren't here
until we-
either, but.
Right,
Well, no, we didn't,
I
we
would-
definitely last week we were like, no, because you and he were.
Yeah, I would have loved to have been here, let me tell you that.
Yeah, I know. But I think Bob,
When is he coming back? Does we know when he's?
He'll be back for the next meeting.
okay,
Right,
that's,
so
yeah,
it's
we
just-
should, yeah, we should.
One important thing, label the pages. My,
Wow.
What page?
my printer ran out of paper, and, you know, I got a pile of stuff here, there's no page numbers to restart, so I put paper in, and it kicked off somewhere, and
It's got a staple in it. Oh, no, because you've printed it, yeah, got it. Oh, this was in your packet, though, yeah.
no, that's not mine.
No, this is mine, but this came in the packet from a few weeks ago.
Oh,
So if you still have that packet.
it wasn't here.
No, it
Did
was,
you get that packet?
Yeah, I dropped it off at your house.
yeah.
Ah,
I didn't give it to you.
You can look on it.
like I said, there was a reason I wasn't at the meeting.
He was sick, yeah. You're doing good.
All right, so you want to, we don't need a motion for that, right? We just.
No.
So. we'll
So the
table
other,
that.
the other thing is that the Connecticut Bar Association is like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I know you want to sign up.
I did.
Anybody else want to
I
go?
already did, yep.
You already did?
It's really good. It's a full day, but it's well
So
worth it.
if you want me to sign everybody up, I will do that. And if
Yeah,
you
I'll
need reimbursement.
Yeah.
What-
I already
what is
signed
it?
up.
It's a one-day
I just got my-
class, right? It's a one-day class?
Yeah.
It's a Saturday from like 9 to 4.
And it's online or
It's all online.
like a webinar?
Some legal stuff,
Yeah.
and it's really good, yeah.
Which Saturday? Do you know?
22nd?
22nd sounds
Yeah.
right.
It's virtual or is it
Yeah, it's
Wesleyan? We used to have
virtual.
it at Wesleyan.
Oh,
So it's
Yeah, so you
virtual.
can put it on the phone, when, you know, phone and do whatever.
So usually it's getting a little warm. You can sit outside
Yeah.
and watch some of it.
We're having a watch party at Paul's house.
With cocktails and
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
I got the 5 pizza oven fired up and ready to
There we
go.
go. It's really, I agree, if you can do it, it's well worth it.
Even if
Did
it's
it
on
a
in the
couple
background.
years,
You know,
I-
even if it's on in the background. it's all-
Ron, you want to do it?
Sure. I needed data.
Saturday, 22nd. It's in like 8:30 to 4 or something, or
Yeah.
something like that, you know, it's all.
It's long.
It's long, yeah.
March 22nd?
They give a nice,
You got a big, huge
a nice
binder.
big,
Yeah, it's
yeah, you've taken, yeah, it's
It
good.
just showed up at my house.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
Keep that, that's.
All right, so we'll table that.
I
So
also
now-
sent out in the email, I sent out a form-based code zoning little blurb that was like 5 or 6 pages. I don't remember how long it was because I didn't number the pages. But there are a bunch of links and videos in there.
Oh, yeah, that, you said you were gonna do that. Okay, I didn't see that.
So that was with the email. I'll send it out again by itself if you want. But there are a lot of little links and,
Yeah, so remember last time we talked, if we were gonna show the video and then we said, just send it to us, right? So maybe we'll do some homework, try to watch that video, right? A couple videos?
there's, the first one's like 2 minutes long, the next one's like 10 minutes long. Yeah,
So
they
it
just give
goes-
you an introduction to a form-based
Yeah,
code, which is a code not based on setbacks and everything else, but tries to integrate structures with the streetscape.
yeah.
Okay,
And it would be a great situation for the town design districts in North Branford and Northford.
Yeah,
Brings the buildings closer to the
Yeah.
street rather than having a strip mall
thinking Northford.
that you can't see that's 50 feet back from the road.
Yeah, all the parking in front of it, you pull the buildings forward and you have a nice facade and then parking in the back, so you drive by and see a beautiful store structure with a nice facade and not a parking lot. And-
Like downtown Guilford,
Green
where you
and
oh,
can
Lisa
walk
said
Yeah,
one
yeah.
down.
stroll
Closer to the
Yeah.
street type thing.
promenade
You got this, right?
from
You
one
got
building
this.
to the next.
Promenade,
No,
exactly.
I
You're good.
think, I
Oui, oui.
think it was emailed to me.
All right, so, last thing, so town planners report?
There is no report.
No report, so we'll reconvene March 20th with our fearless leader back from Florida. And we'll move forward. All right,
That being said,
we missed you.
you know, I know you missed
I
me.
know. We-
Probably for all I know, the last meeting is still running.
Exactly, it is.
We approved the Rotary when we were here. We just put the Rotary on.
No,
You don't want the Rotary?
I don't want the Rotary at all.
You're gonna have to sit, someone needs to sit between us.
Yeah. All right,
I
Ron.
motion we adjourn.
All right, second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right.